It's a few minutes before 2 in the morning, August 6, 1945. The airfield on the island of Tinian is still except for the low hum of generators and the shuffle of boots on tarmac. A thin mist hangs in the Pacific night. Inside a guarded hangar sits a silver B-29 superfortress whose name glints beneath the floodlights. Enola Gay. Crew members move quietly, almost reverently, checking instruments, wiping sweat from their foreheads. None of them speak louder than necessary. They know tonight is unlike any other mission flown before. Captain Paul Tibbets walks slowly across the runway, his boots clicking against the concrete. In his chest, there's a weight that feels heavier than the pistol on his hip. He's rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, but now that it's here, his breath comes shallow. He glances at the faint outline of the bomb trolley rolling toward the plane. A massive steel cylinder, 12 feet long, dull gray, anonymous. Someone had stenciled 2 words on its side. Little boy. A jeep's headlights cut across the field. A few men glance up. The night smells of fuel and salt and rain. Technicians load the weapon with careful, ritual precision, as though handling something alive. No one says the word atomic. They don't need to. Every man here has felt the gravity of it since the briefings began, since the maps of Japan were unfolded on that wooden table back at Wendover Field. Inside the cockpit, the glow of the instrument panel paints faces green and amber. The crew's chatter is minimal. Altitudes, bearings, fuel pressure. They are professionals, disciplined, trained to focus on procedure. Yet, under the surface, thought flickers. What happens after this? Will the world be the same when they land? At 2:45 a.m., the Enola Gay begins to roll down the runway. Engines roar, wind tears across the fuselage. The island disappears beneath them, replaced by black ocean and stars. The plane climbs eastward toward a dawn that hasn't yet broken over the Pacific. On the radio, voices crackle. The weather planes ahead report clear skies over Hiroshima. For hours, they fly through darkness. The crew eats chocolate bars, drinks coffee gone cold. Each man drifts in and out of silence. In the bomb bay, the new weapon hangs suspended, a machine designed by minds that still struggle to imagine what it will do. There's a sense that the plane itself knows what it carries, as if the metal has learned to hold its breath. Tibbets thinks of his mother, Enola Gay Tibbets. He'd painted her name on the aircraft as a tribute. Tonight, it feels like both comfort and irony. A mother's name on a machine carrying the power to erase life. He keeps his eyes on the horizon and says nothing. As dawn begins to rise behind them, the sky turns lavender and gold. At 8:09 a.m., Hiroshima time, the coast of Japan appears. Mountains, rivers, the city nestled between them. From this height it looks peaceful, ordinary. People are walking to work, bicycles crossing bridges, children heading to school. None of them know that a single aircraft overhead carries a new kind of storm. Major Thomas Farabee lines up the target through the Norden bomb site. He murmurs coordinates, adjusting the crosshairs toward the T-shaped Ioi Bridge at the center of the city. Below, the river glints like glass. The bomb bay doors open. The rush of air fills the cabin. For a moment, there's only the sound of wind and the steady ticking of the clock. Bomb away. At 8:15 a.m., the payload drops. The aircraft jerks upward as its burden falls free. For 43 seconds, the crew watches a small dark shape tumbling toward the city. Someone whispers, "God, what have we done?" Though no one's sure who said it. Tibbets banks the plane hard to escape the shockwave. The seconds stretch impossibly long. Then the horizon flashes white. The cabin lights flare. The instruments spike. A pillar of brightness expands beneath them, silent at first, then rising with a roar that shakes the air. From 31,000 feet up, it looks like the birth of a new sun, boiling, spiraling, consuming everything it touches. The cloud climbs higher than any storm, its stem reaching down into the city like the hand of something ancient. No one speaks. The radio is dead quiet. When the first shockwave hits, it feels like a giant's hand slapping the metal hull. The Enola Gay lurches, rattles, steadies. The second wave follows, slower, heavier. Through the windows, they see the city vanish under a churning veil of smoke. A mushroom-shaped column rises into the blue, glowing orange at its core. Tibbets exhales, a sound that is half relief, half disbelief. His crew watches the cloud grow and grow until it pierces the stratosphere. Someone reaches for a camera. The shutter clicks, mechanical and small against the immensity outside. In those photographs, the world looks silent, suspended between eras. They turn the plane for home. No one cheers. The job is done, but the air feels heavier now, as though the mission itself has a soul that won't let them go. Radio operators relay success codes. Back at Tinian, men wait on the runway, unaware of the new shape history has taken. The Enola Gay glides down, engines coughing, tires squealing on contact. When the propellers wind down, the silence that follows is deafening. Tibbets climbs out first. The sunlight blinds him. Cameras flash. A superior officer congratulates him, but his words drift past, hollow. The crew poses for a photo in front of the plane, smiles stiff, eyes unfocused. They know they've just ended a war, or started something much larger. Hours later, in the operations room, the first reconnaissance reports arrive. A single bomb, they say, has destroyed nearly an entire city. Communications are down. Fires still burn. The numbers are beyond comprehension. The men exchange glances. The enormity of it begins to sink in. They had dropped a weapon that turned theory into aftermath. That night, Tibbets sits alone outside his quarters. The sky is clear again, the same stars as before. He lights a cigarette, watches the smoke curl upward, wondering if somewhere across the sea, anyone can see the same stars through the rising haze. He remembers the training briefings, phrases like yield, blast radius, thermal pulse. None of them had described the silence after. He thinks of the faces of the crew, of the weight that will follow each of them for the rest of their lives. The following days blur together. Newspapers call it a victory. Politicians call it necessity. Scientists call it proof. But among those who were there, words are scarce. The photos from the reconnaissance plane show a wound in the earth where a city once stood, a shadow where light had been too bright to bear. Back home, the world changes overnight. People see the image of that towering cloud printed in black and white and understand, dimly, that something irreversible has happened. The atom has been split, and with it, certainty. Years later, survivors will speak of a flash brighter than the sun, of sudden stillness, of loss measured not only in lives but in memory. The men of the Enola Gay will carry their own memories too, each one haunted in private, each one asked the same impossible question: did it have to be done? And time will answer only with silence. Yet even in that silence, lessons live. The story of Hiroshima isn't only about destruction. It's about the threshold of human power, the moment when invention outpaced understanding. It's a story that belongs not to soldiers or scientists alone, but to everyone who must decide what kind of world comes next. You can almost see the plane again, a silhouette against dawn, its engines fading into the distance. You can feel the weight of choice, the fragility of peace. History is not a set of dates. It's a mirror held to what we are capable of, both the brilliance that creates and the blindness that destroys. And that's why this story must be told. Not to reopen wounds, but to remind us that knowledge is never neutral, that every breakthrough carries a heartbeat behind it. The Enola Gay still sits in a museum today, polished and silent, a relic of a moment when the world held its breath. People walk beneath its wings, look up, and wonder what the crew saw that morning when the sky turned white. If this story moved you, share it. Let others hear it, think about it, talk about it. History only stays alive when we keep its lessons breathing. Subscribe for more stories that remind us where we've been, and how much depends on what we choose next.